Hi, my name is Irene-Angelica Chounta.
And I am Alexander Nolte. And in this video we will present our joint work on the CAT effect, exploring the impact of casual affective triggers on online survey response rates. Before going into detail, let me tell you a little story. Like many of us, we were planning to send out a survey. In this case, the survey was targeted towards participants of multiple hackathon events. We had already designed the survey instrument and implemented it in Line Survey and started to work on the invitation email. This is when doubt settled in. We knew from our prior experiences that response rates to survey invitations are often quite low. While there are some works reporting response rates of 60%, like for example in the context of organizational sciences, most reports of response rates are much lower and tend more towards single digits. So we were wondering what to do and started looking into existing guidelines. There are various guidelines that include different suggestions to increase participation, such as the one by Porter and Whitcomb, which suggests to hint towards the scarcity of the selected group. Other guidelines, such as the ones by Crawford and Herwig, suggest adding explanation where the information was obtained from, providing realistic time estimates, adding surveyor contact information and personal salutations. Others even propose monetary incentives, like for example the guideline by Ferner. But the guidelines were sometimes still ambiguous. For example, personal salutations have both been reported to foster and hinder participation. Some of the aspects mentioned are also quite difficult to implement. It's, for example, not always possible to identify the name of an individual that you might want to invite. Other aspects, such as incentives, have also been found to induce bias. And on top of all of this, response rates still remain slow. So we were still wondering what to do. This is when we thought that maybe targeting people's affect might indeed increase response rates. Prior work in the context of collaborative learning, environmental psychology, and social psychology have found that affect can influence behavior and behavior intentions, especially regarding immediate reactions. Based on this idea, we developed the concept of casual affective triggers, or short CAT. CATs are informal triggers such as the display of simple or else casual objects or artifacts that can trigger participants' affect. To assess the feasibility of these CATs, we were aiming to answer three specific research questions. Number one, do CATs have a significant impact on online survey response rates? Two, do CATs have an additive effect on online survey response rates when combined? And three, do CATs induce bias in online survey responses? After having defined the goal of our work, we subsequently had to think about CATs we could utilize to answer our three research questions. So for our study, we decided to design two separate CATs. The first one is personalization. The aim here is to create a positive emotion towards the participant, which is based on individual and targeted treatment. The second one is the picture of an actual cat. The aim here is again to create positive emotions towards the participant. And since cats are somewhat omnipresent online and everyone loves cats' pictures and videos, we thought that this would be a good example for another effective trigger.
Now for this research, we invited approximately 4,500 participants to respond to an online survey. We selected the participants based on their previous participation in hackathons, and the online survey itself aimed to assess the participants' hackathon experience. For the purpose of this work, we designed a 2x2 factorial study, and we split the study population into two conditions. The control condition, in which the participants received a plain email invitation with no casual affective trigger, and the experimental condition, in which the participants received either a personalized invitation or an invitation accompanied by a cat picture, or a personalized invitation that was accompanied by a cat picture as well. 14 days after the first invitation, we sent out a reminder for the participants who had not responded. For the reminder, we followed the same approach as the original invitation with respect to the conditions. Regarding participants' response behavior, we distinguished two cases. First is the case of participants who accessed the survey but did not necessarily respond to all its sections, and we call that partial participation. Second is the case of participants who accessed and responded to all the sections of the survey. This is what we call complete participation. To investigate the individual effects of casual affective triggers on response rates, we performed regression analysis. Our findings suggest that personalized invitations and invitations accompanied by a cat picture had a positive impact on response rates. However, this impact varied depending on the participant's response behavior. That means that addressing participants using their first name had a significant positive effect on partial and complete participation. However, the effect appeared to be stronger for partial participation. On the other hand, invitations accompanied by a cat picture had a statistically significant positive impact on response rates, which appeared to be constant between partial and complete responses. Then we introduced an interaction term to the initial regression model to investigate the potential additive effect between the two affective triggers. In this case, our analysis did not reveal a statistically significant interaction between the two causal affective triggers. Finally, to investigate whether the affective triggers could induce bias, we conducted a one-way ANOVA for the participants who completed the survey. Our analysis suggested that the survey responses within groups and conditions did not differ significantly either per study category or overall. Now, this suggests that cats did not induce any response bias. Having said that, it was still necessary to clarify potential relationships between survey design elements, affective triggers, and response rates. In particular, we wanted to clarify the connection between the different design elements and the individual participation intentions, the relationship between individual preferences for pictures of cats and the user's perception of the picture as a design element, and the relationship between individual participation intentions and the preferences of individuals for pictures of cats, dogs, and other small animals. To clarify these relationships, we designed a second survey, which we distributed via a popular crowdsourcing platform to 100 participants. The second survey contained the same invitation text and picture that we used in the main survey, but we referred instead to a fake event and asked the participants practically to roleplay. In addition to typical demographics, we included 3 separate questions to clarify the previously discussed relationships. Regression analysis suggested that the 3 design elements that had a positive impact on participation intentions were realistic time estimate, elements that targeted audience scarcity, and the attached cat picture. We also saw that indeed people who enjoy cat pictures in general rated higher the use of the cat picture as an attachment, but we found no statistically significant effect for people who prefer pictures of dogs or other small animals and the attached picture as a design element. Finally, our findings indicated that people who enjoy cat pictures demonstrate higher participation intentions.
So to sum things up, we found that cats like personal salutations and cat pictures can increase survey participation, thus answering research question 1. Our findings also did not reveal any interaction between the 2 different cats we utilized in our study, pointing towards them inducing different effects. The cats we utilized also did not induce any response bias, answering research question 3.
So thank you for listening. This is our cat Pipa, and you can find more information about the paper and us in the following links.